Hello, my name is Chloe, welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing to you my April book haul. I didn't think I was going to haul many books in April. We're over the 30 mark. I don't know how many we've got right now. I don't even want to check. Things happened. I went shopping in several different places. I got some lovely gifts. I got another full moon subscription box from WAYPOINT books. So books arrived. I'm not sorry about it, but my physical TBR is creeping closer towards 500. So we really need to start doing something about it. Okay, let's start off with the 7 books that I got from charity shops this month. Some of them I am like crazy excited to read right now, some of which have a future date in mind. Did you hear that? Was that quite necessary? Anyway, the first book I picked up from a charity shop was 99% Mine by Sally Thorne. This is the sequel to The Hating Game, or a companion novel to The Hating Game, which is one of my favourite romances of all time. So I grabbed this when it was like £1 something. I will say, I'm not going to be able to talk about these in detail because there are so many books, so it's going to be a quick fire book haul. I then got Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. This is second in the series that has Every Summer After. This is a pretty beat up copy, but again, it was about £1, so I decided to jump and grab it, and it just looks like a fun adult romance. Speaking of fun adult romances, we have The Things We Leave Behind by Rebecca Yarros from the same charity shop in the same deal. It was about £1, and yeah, I've actually grabbed a few Rebecca Yarros books this month, so this one sounded intriguing to me. Two Enemies, One Unfinished Manuscript, The Love Story of a Lifetime. The final book on that one charity shop trip was Mad Honey by Jodi Picoult and Jennifer Finney Boylan. I hadn't heard about this, and now I've seen it everywhere since picking this up, so I'm glad I got it for like £1. The body of an 18-year-old girl is found at the bottom of the stairs in her family home. Only 2 people know the truth behind what happened. One of them is dead and the other is your son. So yeah, very intriguing. Then I had one more charity shop trip when Rachel and Emily came to visit. So the first book I grabbed was The Distance Between Us by Casey West. This is a YA romance that I have read before, and I think I said it was my favourite Casey West book. I didn't read it physically, I had an ebook copy, and when I found this pretty decent condition, because these books do get beat up quite easily, it was £1.50. I grabbed it. So not adding to my TBR, but is adding to my physical collection. Then a very rogue book, and one I wouldn't normally pick up, but Rachel convinced me. We have The Christmas Book Club by Sarah Morgan. This is a contemporary story set around Christmas, clearly, and apparently it was just going to be like a really good Christmas cozy read. I am intending to go away around Christmas this year. I don't know whether I'm going to be home for like Christmas Day or not, so I thought it might be quite a fun feel-good book at Christmas, depending on where I am and what feel-goodness I need. The final charity shop book I got is The One That Got Away by Charlotte Rixton. It says, this is not a love story, it's the story of first love. I don't really know much about it, I won't lie. We've got some sort of tragic event, 2 years together, 20 years apart, one day to change their story. It sounded fun, I'm gonna give it a go. It was in a deal, it was like 50p. Speaking of books I bought myself, cheaply, this whole stack came from the Works. So let's do the Works stack. First up, we have Travis by Mia Sheridan. This is the sequel to, what's it called? Archer's Voice. The sequel to Archer's Voice. I haven't read Archer's Voice yet. It was like £4. We then have Tempting Little Thief by Megan Brandy. I was reading Say You Swear the week I found this book, I believe, and I was like, screw it. I like the writing. I'm gonna get another one. We've got an underground crime world romance. Let's just go with it. Here was the other one I meant. I got Great and Precious Things by Rebecca Yarros. This is a military romance. I've said that with confidence. I'm seeing that from the cover. Roll with it, guys, roll with it. Bully by Penelope Douglas. I have read Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, and it's one of my favourite romances of all time, so grabbed another when it was on offer. I then have a series of 4, which annoyingly is now out of order, so let me fix that. Have I since bought a series of 5 by the same author from the Works, and it will just be a next month's book haul? Yes, I have. We have The Chase, The Risk, The Play, and The Dare by Al Kennedy, which is the Briar U series college ice hockey romance. Why not? Rootbound by Tara Jewett. This is a cowboy romance I had never heard of before. I now own it. And finally from the Works we have Love at First Sight by Megan Clausen. This is in the same universe as Falling Hard for the Royal Guard, and these sprayed edges, like, aren't these the cutest thing you've ever seen? So I spotted those. It's another book set in the Tower of London. We own it now. We own it now. Okay, let's stick to ones I bought myself that were maybe slightly discounted. I got a copy of The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein by Kirsten White. This is one that I've wanted for a while, and then I kind of lost interest, took it off my wish list, thought no more about it. Then I finally read Hyde by Kirsten White and loved it. Like, loved the atmosphere, loved the writing. So I decided to put it back on my wish list, and then I was in a secondhand bookshop with my dad. This is the US hardback. I've never seen this before, and it was £6.50. So I grabbed it. It's in very good nick, and yeah, I just really love like this cover. This is very like textured, and it happened. It's a reimagining of Frankenstein. And I believe the final discounted book I got was Bad Dolls by Rachel Harrison. I was in Forbidden Planet in Birmingham. This was down to about £4, and it is a signed copy of her short stories. It says 4 dark tales, friendship, heartbreak, hauntings, and the occasional blood sacrifice. We're here for it. Right, more shopping I've done myself. I believe the vlog will already be up where I went to Hay on Wye with Emily and Rachel, and I bought 3 books during my time there. The first one I dropped, but the first one is Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence. I have been intrigued by this since watching the movie, and apparently it was like the smut of the classics. So I want to know how classics handled sex, really. We then have Where He Can't Find You by Darcy Coates. I have been wanting more Darcy Coates since reading The Haunting of Ashburn House, so I found this one. The cover has really intrigued me and I've decided to pick it up. So this is a YA horror. I told you it was going to be quickfire. We then have The Cherished by Patricia Ward, which is also a YA horror, and this cover just screamed by me, so I did. It's kind of got vibes of The Haunting of Ashburn House, actually. So we've got a house left to somebody by their grandmother. They're not really sure why. There are tenants in there who stand too still, their eyes are too big, they seem somehow stuck. I needed it. I needed it, clearly. Final purchases by myself start with The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo, which is the Waterstones exclusive edition. So I had this on my list to buy as soon as I went to the Hellbent event with Leigh Bardugo, and she was talking about the book she was writing. It sounded amazing. So actually around Christmas, when my mom was buying a book for my sister, she needed a certain amount spent on Waterstones for free delivery. So obviously I just added a pre-order. And yeah, this is absolutely stunning. I love it. This is a fantasy book. I believe it feels historical. I'm not sure if it actually is. Brimming with peril in a world where a woman's ambition can prove deadly. After her talk on it, I had to have it. And then finally, if you have not seen the book For Evernight by Illumicrate, pause this video, go back and watch my video on that, because I'm about to spoil it in 3, 2, 1. We have Murder Road by Simone St. James. I've discussed my feelings on this cover and the book in length in that video. I won't tell you about it again, but this is a adult horror. I mean, it feels YA, but I'm pretty sure it's adult. Yeah. We've talked about it. Okay, finally, we have another subscription box and my gifts. In April, I was lucky enough to be taken on again as a Waypoint Books rep, so I unboxed their full moon subscription box. Please do go and check that video so you can understand why I've got the books I do and how it all works. But the 2 books I got for that subscription box are You're Invited by Amanda J. Atisa. This is kind of like a wedding's happening that you don't want to, how far will you go to stop it? Reads like Crazy Rich Asians' deranged bloodthirsty sister. So again, I won't go into too much detail. Go check out the Waypoint Books video. The other one I got is The Hurricane Blonde by Hayley Sutton, which I have been describing as a Taylor Jenkins Reid plus murder. Hollywood loves a dead girl. She is always so photogenic. It sounds great. So yeah, go back and check out that video. And that brings us on nicely to gifts, because one of the gifts I got this month was in my Waypoint Books subscription, but I'm classing it as a gift because it was a little bit different, and that is The Bridesmaid Survival Guide by Hannah O'Donnell. This is Hannah from Ladder M, aka the creator of Waypoint Books. This is a YA rom-com, it's been described as, and it says bridesmaid, noun, an attendant to the bride or one who finishes just behind the winner, aka the loser. I'm sure this is going to be absolutely hilarious because Hannah's hilarious, so I'm excited to read that but scared because reading a friend's work is terrifying. Which has led me on nicely to gifts. I got 2 gifts from Emily when she came to visit. I have Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This is a cowboy romance, that's all I know about it, and I am buzzing to own it. Properly buzzing. We then have the absolute chunker that is dominating the romance world right now, and that is Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. This is absolutely huge. I think it's an 800-page romance. Yeah, it's 800 pages. The game was everything until he met her. It's a rugby player. It's 800 pages. Everyone loves it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So thank you, Emily. I should have said, thank you so much, Hannah. Thank you, Emily. And then I got a completely outstanding gift. I still can't really believe that this is in my possession, and thank you so much to Oz for the collection of the Hunger Games books. Like, are we okay? We've got the Hunger Games, we've got Catching Fire, we've got Mockingjay, and we have the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So I have read the first 3 before. I didn't hold on to my physical editions. They were a little bit beat up. They just weren't books I wanted on my shelves forever. And then when Songbirds and Snakes was announced, I was like, am I gonna read it? Am I not gonna read it? I don't really know. I won't get the books. Then I watched the movie and I absolutely loved it. It's like my favorite movie of last year. So I wanted a set of the books all to match each other, and I can keep them on my shelves for a solid long time. I'm trying to get one of the books out so you can see like the design on the front. I believe it's, yeah, very, very similar to the original editions, but just kind of like more primary colours and like a simpler design. If you haven't heard of the Hunger Games, please at least watch the movie. I think it's such a fantastic series of books and of movies. Like, the movies are just phenomenal, and I would thoroughly recommend getting involved in this universe if you haven't already. I love it so much, and this is like going to be a staple collection of books on my shelves for a very, very long time. I think I'm going to annotate these, I think. So there we have it. That is my insane book haul, and I've sped through them. Let me count them up. 33 books. So this is where it gets exciting, because I currently have, sorry, I dipped as I was saying that. I have 14 books on my advent calendar. I need 10 more books, and I have 10 books here that I can sacrifice for my advent calendar. If you have not watched a previous book haul, I am keeping aside 24 books for my advent calendar for this year. Every year I buy an advent calendar. I've bought some expensive ones, and just nothing ever gives me the joy that the books I bought in the year do. So I've been putting aside the books so that when I get to December, I can open them up, and I've got no idea what they were because I'll forget by then, but I'll have some very exciting books to open. I'm going to be happy with them all because I bought them myself. I don't use gifts because gifts have been lovingly selected for me by somebody else, so that is not an appropriate one to wrap up and leave and gift again. I now need to pick 10 books. I can do this. It would make sense to make this book number 1, but I will remember this because I'll be like, I know there's a Christmas book on my TBR, and I need to have this on my December TBR, so I won't do this one. I think I've done it. I think I've picked 10. So I also use these videos to let me know if I'm digging around my apartment looking for a book. I can easily find out if I wrapped it up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oh, that's reflecting, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So all of these books will now be wrapped up in Christmas paper if I have enough, and then my advent calendar is going to be ready for December in May. It's currently the 3rd of May, and my advent calendar is going to be sorted, which is amazing. I'm going to have to take them off my book trolley and put them like under my sofa or something, but my advent calendar will be ready. With that being said, please let me know if you have an opinion on any of these 33 books, which I can't even believe that's a normal sentence to say after I said I was going to stop hauling. Thank you very much, guys, for watching this video. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.